Hola, ¿cómo están? Aquí les habla Ensei Konichiwa en esta retransmisión con otro siguiente Ensei Event. Vamos a partir con la retransmisión del evento de la PC Gaming Show de este año. Así que nos va a mostrar algunos gameplays, algunos trailers, algunos desarrolladores, entrevistas y mucho más de lo que vamos a ver. Esto va a ser un poquito más extendido de lo que se había visto en otros anteriores. Así que para que lo volvamos a ver, a pesar que yo no lo pude hacerlo, ya como yo les he reiterado tantas veces por temas de tiempo, ha sido muy difícil, pero por lo menos vale la pena volver a intentar redisfrutar este momento con este evento también de la PC Gaming Show. Así que por lo menos se vienen muchas cosas que se van a venir para este año y el próximo, o quizás para el 2024, porque yo creo que van a aparecer algunos juegos sí o sí, yo creo. Así que por lo menos vamos a disfrutar este buen show. Así que no se olviden, suscríbase, active la campanita, deje su like, comparta y obviamente siga disfrutando este buen momento con ustedes. Así que vamos a disfrutar un buen rato con esta video reacción del evento de la PC Gaming Show y no más preámbulos. Vamos a comenzar. Así que por lo menos ya estamos a casi a 2 minutos de que empiece. Así que por lo menos estamos un poquito nerviosos, pero lo vamos a hacer. Así que veamos nuestra video reacción. ¿Qué es lo que se espera para este evento? Así que por lo menos hay muchas cosas que ya se vienen ya muy, pero muy preparados. Así que estamos todo listo. Es una cosa bien específica para poder disfrutar un buen rato. Así que después de los otros, este video va a estar publicado y obviamente va a estar sí o sí para esta semana. Así que igual lo van a volver a disfrutar y obviamente comenten qué les ha parecido este evento. Así que nosotros como siempre vamos a ver hasta el final y sacar nuestras conclusiones con algunos de los juegos y obviamente dándole la nota final. ¿Qué les parece, chiquillos? Porque la idea clara es poder ver y sacar nuestra conclusión cómo fue la presentación del evento. Así que esto es prácticamente es de PC. No sé si va a ser para consolas, pero por lo menos hay que darle una oportunidad. ¿Qué les parece, chiquillos? Ya, no más. Ya quedan ya 60 segundos ya para empezar. Así que obviamente yo traje algo, porque si no me voy a secarme la garganta.
Good things come to those who wait, and your patience has finally paid off. Get ready because the 2022 PC Gaming Show kicks off in just a few moments, and we got dozens of new games, trailers, exclusive interviews, which means there's only one thing left to do. It's countdown time, and I'll see you in a sec.
Mira, ya quedan ya 30 segundos. Ya vamos a empezar. Eso sí. Estoy un poquito. Y por eso que cambié las luces. Es de color rojo por la empresa de la PC Game. Así que me traje un vasito de agua para tomar, para no estar gastándome la garganta. Así que por eso, chiquillos, salud. Y disfrutemos esta retransmisión de la PC Gaming Show. Y lo ven aquí en el canal de Ensei Konichiwa. Bellísima presentación.
Hey everyone, welcome to the PC Gaming Show 2022. I'm Day 9 still, one of your hosts, joined again by the amazing Mika Burton.
Hi.
While we may look like elaborate Unreal Engine renders, we are here in the flesh, as is the hardware, bringing you the best and brightest in the world of PC gaming.
Over the next 2 hours, we are going to showcase a metric ton of killer upcoming PC games through world premieres, exclusive interviews, and a few surprises along the way. And you, the folks at home, might even be able to win yourself a fancy computer if you play your cards right.
And now you may remember the last time you saw me on this show, things ended quite literally explosively.
Yeah.
There was a robot who tried to destroy the human race, electrocuted me. I think I died.
Definitely died.
Either way, I'm not really sure. It was standard robot apocalyptic stuff. Just minus the overbearing anime dad.
Está recordando lo que pasó en el evento de la PC Gaming anterior.
DevBot. Anyway, wasn't he supposed to come back for this show for like Revenge of the DevBot?
Well, he's dead.
Oh.
We melted him down to try to make our own graphics cards since they're still hard to find, and I would say he's in a better place, but I played Cyberpunk 2077 and he's not.
Ooh, that's pretty dark for the start of the show.
Or nostalgic.
Aw.
But none of that matters because the show actually took place in a parallel reality.
All right, so you're telling me there's actually a multiverse?
According to the writers who told me this 5 minutes before we went live, I am saying there's a multiverse.
All right.
We're now apparently on Earth 3.
Bien
Ooh,
confirmado
not to be confused with
del
E3
tema del
because
multiverso.
This show is still happening.
Oh, and we are so thrilled to be back as a part of this weekend full of celebrations of gaming by putting the spotlight on something near and dear to our hearts. PC gaming.
And so, without any further ado, it's time for my favorite part.
A ver,
Rated M for mature.
siguiente juego que nos va a mostrar a continuación.
You're not a monster.
Modus Games.
In the beginning, the world was subjugated by chaos.
Bueno, pero por lo menos el año pasado fue una excelente presentación. Debo admitir que me sorprendió.
And so came the solstice of souls.
Pero sí debo imaginar que PC Gamer ha mostrado algunos trailers y grandes juegos que se van a venir. Pero no hay que olvidarse también el tema del hardware que ya se está preparando ya para este año y el próximo. Se vienen muchas grandes cosas en ese sentido. Vamos a ver una 12ª generación de tanto de Intel, una 13ª generación de tanto de Intel, también como AMD también, que nos están sorprendiendo con sus nuevos procesadores, nuevas tarjetas gráficas. O sea, imagínense, ya estamos ya al siguiente salto generacional de PC en este caso, si no me recuerdo. Nosotros estamos usando el de DDR4. Ahora, imagínense, ahora se viene una DDR5. Cáchense. Ahora, por lo que he visto, las placas de PC Gamer, ahora estamos ampliando la memoria RAM, en este caso de 32, ahora se está subiendo a 64 GB y ahora puede que llegue hasta 128. Lorea, vean el avance. ¿Cómo va avanzando?
They wanted yet another monster. They shall have one.
Solstice o Skull, yo creo que es Sol, es por la letra, debe ser Soul. Para el 20 de septiembre del 2022, o sea, falta por unos meses más. Así que un Solstice edición de lujo, tanto para consolas de esta nueva generación, incluyendo para PC, mira. Así que por lo menos nos darán una pequeña muestra del demo, así que visitando la página y registrando. Nada que decir. Sí. A ver, otro siguiente juego utilizando con la animación y con el moldeado. Como si fuera algo así en 3D. Casi como si fuera al estilo de Paper Mario. Mira. Rodwood. Próximamente para... Aún todavía sin definir la fecha, ¿eh? Si va a ser para este año o el 2023 o 2024, no sabemos. A ver, este es un juego de táctica. Mira, con magia y todo. Ah, qué lindo lugar. Gunpoint. Mira, este es otro juego de... bien llamativo. Mira, mezclado con magia y de shooter, pero también con estilo táctica. Rebobinando. Parece que copiaron al estilo del juego, casi como la nueva versión de Flashback. No, pero no está tan malo. Agregar defensa, la arma. Elegir las opciones. Se ve bacán. Habilidades de magia. Skin se pueden elegir, o sea, los trajes. Y las siguientes misiones. Not too bad. Tactical Breach Wizard en la lista de deseos en Steam. O sea, en resumidas, para PC. Mira.
You just saw Tactical Breach Wizards, a turn-based game of sorcery and SWAT team strategy from the makers of Gunpoint and Heat Signature. My strategy, personally, is very simple. Breach, bang, clear, magic missile, dramatic flourish, abra, cadaver.
De la tarjeta gráfica puede que sea un AMD Radeon.
Next, we have a solution to the age-old problem of not having time to read and play video games. Just do both at the same time, obviously. Star Wars Industries has you covered with their sci-fi thriller inspired by Stanislaw Lem's novel.
Las memorias RAM tienen que ser Aorus o tienen que ser HyperX, no sé, es muy difícil de definir. A ver, a continuación, ¿qué se nos viene? Una World Premiere. Atentos. ¿Qué se nos viene?
You. What have you done?
Este ya es de tipo carácter espacial.
Where are you taking me?
You came here yourself. So what are you expecting, huh?
You've set up a field camp down there.
Yes, ma'am.
So I didn't expect you to have a second one here.
Really?
Sit here and don't you dare move. What are you doing here?
You're not gonna like this part.
The Invisible, un videojuego. Ahí nos están mostrando el primer gameplay. Mira, está en beta. Esto ya es un juego de tipo de supervivencia en Marte. Ahora se están enfocando mucho estos juegos de tipo de supervivencia espacial. Tanto para craftear, cultivar y todo eso. Es casi como si fuera un Minecraft, pero ambientado así en el espacio. Sobre todo en Marte. Se nota.
The radiation level is growing rapidly. It's starting to get interesting.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, Doctor.
Todavía está en fase de desarrollo, pero por lo menos nos muestran una versión beta. Por lo menos es así la misma...
I located the mobile antimatter cannon.
Another one? How many of those did they... Is it active?
Dead.
I admire your composure.
Wait, someone's here.
Algo viene.
Astrogator, they're dead.
So you found someone. Fortunately, such unpleasant discoveries are indispensable to the mission.
I didn't let that thought get to me. I was counting on this meeting very much.
Ahí tenía la opción de
At worst, it could have been another abandoned place, but not this.
But what exactly?
That's a good question. I'm getting into the recorder. What do we have here?
Me recordó una referencia de tipo Alien. Ya.
They made their way through with a beam of antimatter.
How subtle. Did you locate this passage?
Antimateria.
I'm looking at it now. They pierced a hole several meters in diameter and several dozen meters long.
Y aquí nos saltaron. A ver qué
Yes,
ocurre.
do you hear me?
Yes. My head feels like it's bursting from pressure.
Can you continue?
Yes. I'm better now. Actually, there's nothing here that I haven't seen before. There are a lot of metal bushes that were near our camp. The lower parts of the bushes are, how to put it, fruitless.
So they the fruits.
This robot looks like it has started its task and got stuck.
What task?
This is one of the robots carrying containers with research material. It took the container, but never left that place.
Why do you think it's stuck?
Well, it goes in circles using the same path.
Ahí lo está mostrando, sí, mira.
The robot's gone,
You must have broken his loop.
but I didn't.
Está en
Must have
bucle.
done something. Never mind. Follow it.
O sea, ¿qué secreto?
It's getting up.
What, a robot?
No, antimat.
Come on, Yasna. Run. Hide. Yasna, are you alive?
Yes, it's fucked up the robot.
What's it doing now?
Take care of our people, Novik.
La Invisible. Mira. Próximamente para el 2023, tanto en plataformas de PC, ahora agregaron a
It's time to
GOG
take
y
a
a
pit stop
Epic
at
Games.
the nearest
Así que van a estar también en
dungeon
Steam
to prove that
para
chivalry
PlayStation
isn't dead.
y
If you think
Xbox
I
y
emphasize those
PC.
words
Mira
weirdly,
tú,
you're
muy
right.
bueno.
And it'll all make sense momentarily when you see these next 4 games, especially when you hear from our friends at Tripwire Interactive. Roll that beautiful footage.
A ver, ¿qué otro siguiente juego se nos viene? A ver.
You?
Esto es de
You
Sega.
don't have what it takes. You'll be back here too scared to try again. Cause
A
the
ver, ¿qué nos
dungeon will turn
sorprende
you
la
into lunch
compañía
meat,
Sega?
unless you're way tougher than you look. We got the guns, the turrets, the upgrades. But what you really need is guts and skills. Grab your posse and say your prayers. Be the first to play,
Mira tú.
to die, to give your feedback.
Este me recordó el otro juego, el de Steam. Alien
Yeah, what it
Alien
takes.
Square, creo que se llama. Alien Swearing, algo así. Mira tú. Endless Dungeon va a estar para Steam. Y obviamente tenía que ser de parte de Sega. Tal como lo mostramos en otra retransmisión del otro evento. Nada más que nada menos que la Fórmula 1 Management. O sea, en vez de, bueno, obviamente en vez de pilotear, tú puedes dirigir a los pilotos. O sea, tú puedes crear tu propia escudería. Y obviamente tú puedes dirigir y dar las órdenes. De eso se trata la mecánica del juego. Muy bueno esto. Tanto como el Football Manager, la NBA también y otros juegos también de esa misma mecánica lo están probando. Ahora esto es la primera vez que yo veo al estilo del, en este caso de auto, en este caso es la Fórmula 1. Bien interesante. Imagínate, ahí están todos los personajes tanto de la escudería, tanto como Ferrari, Red Bull, la India Racing creo que está.
Between race weekends, you'll control
No sé
every
cuánto se llama.
detail of your team from your state-of-the-art headquarters.
Ferrari
Hire
obviamente,
best-in-class staff to
McLaren,
work across your
Honda.
aerodynamics and engineering teams
¿Lo ven?
and put them to the task to develop your car and prepare new parts for upcoming races. Optimize your finances to keep the board happy, improve and maintain your facilities, and scout talent from F2 and
Y aquí
F3
eligen
to
a
try and
los
ensure future success.
pilotos.
They say knowledge is power, and keeping a close eye on a plethora of realistic data will help give you the edge. From the finer details of how car parts affect overall performance, to a track's
¿Lo ven? Hasta
expected grip
incluso
level,
podemos
to the condition of
elegir
your wind
el
tunnel.
tipo de
How you analyze the data and choose to spend your resources will
vehículo,
make
así, en
or
este
break
caso,
your
mejorar.
progress.
Si es para
You'll
más
find depth
rápido,
and detail in
mejor,
abundance,
¿lo ven?
even down to
Ahí tú
real-world
dais
team
las
radio
órdenes.
messages between drivers and engineers, and race commentary
Tomar
from
y
David
atacar,
Croft and
¿veis?
Karun Chandok. while broadcast-style presentation showcases 2022's striking new car design with real trackside and onboard camera angles. Sleek management menus and intuitive controls will drive the immersive F1 fantasy home as you plan and execute the perfect strategy in F1 Manager 2022.
Así que por lo menos no
Pre-order the
es tan
digital
malo
version
la
now for
Fórmula
early
1
access
Manager.
from August 25th.
Así que va a estar para el 25 de agosto. Va a estar para consolas y PC.
Hey everyone, after 1 year of Chivalry 2, we've more than doubled the size of the game, and now we're excited to bring even more knights onto the battlefield. Because today, right now, Chivalry 2 is out on Steam with crossplay between all platforms. This is our biggest update to the game yet, and it brings players to an all-new desert theater of war, and best of all, brings us horses into Chivalry 2 in mounted combat. We want to thank our community for making the game the success that it's been so far, and if you haven't played it yet, now is the best time to check out Chivalry 2. Take a look at our new trailer that shows off the new update and its Notion invasion.
Este ya es un juego al estilo como el de la Edad Media.
This rebellion is at an end. The Agapians flee to their stronghold in the north. This land is mine. Now Denocia rises from the south. Throw the dogs back into the desert.
Ay, utilizan el grito de Hellspring. Mira, esos cañones de los árabes. Más o menos turcos.
Ready the ships. Long has Denocia remained safe from my fury.
Sarraceno, bizantino.
No more.
Cruzado. Muy interesante, ¿eh? Mira. Incluso cabalgar con los caballos y pelear. Me recuerda al juego de Mountain Blade. Ese de hecho yo creo que está para Steam y en GOT, no mal recuerdo. Chivalry 2, la invasión próximamente.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil from Sweet Bandits, live from Quebec City. Really glad to be here today for the PC gaming show. We'll be showing the first trailer for our game, Deceive Inc. It's a multiplayer competitive spy game where you get to use social stealth, high-tech gadgets, and powerful spy abilities to try and get the upper hand. We've had the chance of working with Tripwire Presents on the project, so this is only the beginning. Please follow us on social media at Play Deceiving to learn more. We'll be releasing the game in early 2023 on PC, Xbox Series S and X, and PS5.
Para el próximo año.
Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the
para las consolas como el PC.
Your mission is simple. Infiltrate the frozen coral underwater hotel and retrieve the blueprint of a powerful weapon. As you know, Deceive Inc.'s company policy is to deploy multiple agents to ensure the mission's success. But only one will get the paycheck. Do whatever it takes, Agent, and be careful out there.
Try your best. Let's see if it's enough. Booyah! Ka-ching! Oh, come on. They can't be this fast.
Hace unos momentos.
And they thought it was secure. In the end, I am victorious.
They're really not gonna make it easy for me.
Mira, está bueno.
Gotcha.
Is that it?
Right on target. Outskilled and outgunned.
It can't end like this.
A ver quién se roba el maletín.
Target acquired. Moving to rendezvous point.
Mira.
All done. Really? Mission complete.
Visit. Aquí podemos usar cualquier cosa. A ver. Una emboscada. Extracción. ¿Ya? Deceive Inc. Company. Mira, el nombre que le ponen, muy bueno. Qué buena. Va a estar para el próximo año 2023. Va a estar tanto para consolas como en PC, en Steam y en Epic Games.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever
Mira,
have a reoccurring dream that you
interesante, muy
really wish
bueno.
would come true? I mean, mine personally involves a flight of unicorns and a Valkyrie army on Pegasuses, but you know, yours may be different. But, you know, somehow I doubt it. This year, we've partnered with the PC builders at iBuyPower to bring a very different dream to life. My dream PC room.
Mira,
Unfortunately,
un
there's
PC
bad
gamer
news for me. I
completo.
don't get to keep it. But very good news for one of you.
Ah,
We're going to be
sí,
giving
yo creo
the
que este es
entire
Aorus.
contents of this room away to
Pero
a lucky
fíjate,
winner
po,
watching the
un
show.
PC gaming
So let's
room
dive in and see
completo,
what's up for
po.
grabs.
Ya
The
es de
beating heart
carácter
of any
tipo
PC gaming dream
profesional,
room is,
po.
of course, the rig. So let's start
No,
there.
este es un Crocer.
As you can see, the
Ah,
mad
la
geniuses
marca
at
es Crocer.
iBuyPower have built
Y
an
la
absolute
tarjeta
doozy.
gráfica, a mí me...
The first thing you'll
estas
notice
son
is that height
las
Y60
memorias
case with
RAM
its wraparound tempered glass
de
panels. This thing is
XRP,
built
algo así
from
se
the
llama.
ground up to display the
XPG,
sickest
esa es
PC
esa
tech
marca,
you
y
can
ese del
squeeze
cooler
into a
es un
desktop
Crocer.
machine. And
Y la placa
let's
es
face
Aorus.
it, if you've managed to bag a serious graphics card in these dry
Aorus.
times, you owe it to the
Y la
silicon
tarjeta
gods to
gráfica a mí
show
me
it off
indica que es,
properly.
no sé si será
Okay, the case
Radeon,
and
yo
lighting
creo.
looks dope,
Una AMD
but for this to
Radeon.
be a true dream PC, we need more than just state-of-the-art drip. Luckily, the substance
¿O
matches
no?
the
¿O es una
style.
gigabit?
So let's
Es que
check
es
out
muy
the
difícil
guts of our
cachar el
dream
modelo.
PC,
Tengo
and
que ver
trust me,
el nombre
there's
si es...
plenty of power
No sé si
crammed
es
in.
gigabit
The big
o es...
question, though, is what pixel pusher iBuyPower
Ah,
has
sí,
used,
es
and you
una
won't
gigabit.
be disappointed
Mira,
with an overclocked RTX 3090
Una
from Gigabyte,
3090,
right?
pu.
This
Cáchate.
24GB monster of a
Es un
GPU
PC
packs the
gamer full
cooling to stay
completo,
chill
pu.
and the
Gama
power
ultra,
to smash
pu.
through any game you throw at
Me
it.
imagino cuánto debe valer en esta,
Graphics card is
allá
the rig's
en
MVP,
Gringolandia
but
y en
any
Chile
superstar
no,
needs
yo
some
creo que
dope
debe ser
backup,
más
and the
de
fastest gaming
3 o
CPU
4 millones.
around, the Intel 5.5
No,
GHz
imposible.
Core i9 12900KS
Tendría que
with
estar
32
donando
gigabytes of
todos mis
DDR5
órganos
RAM
para
and 2
conseguirlo. Y
terabytes
cáchate, pues es
of
un i9,
seriously fast
pues 12ª
SSD storage,
generación.
both from ADATA,
Más
makes up
encima
the
este debe
perfect
ser
support
de
team.
32 GB yo
That is a
creo.
whole lot of
32
PC.
GB yo creo o
But
16
Mika,
GB.
you may greedily
Más
wonder,
encima el
what about
almacenaje
the
es de 2
peripherals?
teras.
Well, animal lovers,
Y
we
usa
got you covered.
el
Because the
disco de
Height
estado
Eclipse
sólido
wireless headset comes in plush
tipo
vegan leather
M2.
trim with a 30-hour battery life
Ya no
and
están usando
competition-grade
los
2.4
discos de
GHz
estado
connection. And you
disco
noisy
duro
typers are going to love the
mecánico,
clicky-clacky
disco estado
mechanical
sólido.
keyboard that comes with it.
Pero mira, po,
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
se ve bacán.
RGB?
Po.
Well, of course!
3
The
monitores,
keyboard
po.
and mouse both light up like
Yo creo que
Atlantic
este
City
debe
on a
usar,
Saturday night.
no sé si
And
usará
yeah, you can turn it off so you can actually get some
PC
sleep.
o
You can find out more about this gear feature today over at
FreeSign.
iBuyPower.com, but I know what you really want to know. The info on how to win this beastly setup. So here are the details.
Thanks, Mika. Yes,
Mira.
folks, it couldn't be easier to enter our Dream
Eso
PC
es
giveaway.
un PC
For your
bien
chance, just head
gama
over
alta,
to
o sea, gama ultra.
pcgamer.com/dreampc and follow the simple
No.
instructions. There, you'll find a complete
Es
breakdown of the
inalcanzable
price,
para mí,
which,
es muy
don't
inalcanzable.
worry, also comes with some
Tendrías que
very squish
ganarte
monitors as well as the
loto para
eligibility rules.
comprarte
Good
así,
luck,
po, un
gamers.
PC así de
That is
tipo
right.
gama
Just head
ultra,
over to
po. Ni cagando, po.
pcgamer.com/dreampc for your chance to
No,
win.
para mí
But for now, let's get
inalcanzable
back to
para
the
mí.
games. From Kepler
Por lo menos la única
Interactive and
cosa,
A44
podría
Games
haberme
comes
una tarjeta
Flintlock, The
gráfica.
Siege of Dawn, an action RPG from the team behind Ashen, where gods and guns collide.
A ver, ¿qué otro juego se nos viene? A ver. Prepárense.
When the gods first emerged from the great below, we saw them as saviors. Instead, they unleashed a pestilence on our world. No one yet knows if you can kill a god. I, for one, intend to find out.
A ver, otro juego que. Mira, está en un modo de prueba. No, pero ese nivel de detalle, nivel gráfico. Po. Ya vaya a estar ocupando las tarjetas gráficas de ahora. Po. En cuanto a la mía, no. A mí me va a dar cuello de botella. No sé por cuánto, pero por lo menos. Aquí podemos construir un campamento. Ya. Armar para vencer. Aquí hay habilidades. O sea, se puede explorar y recorrer varios lugares aquí. Bien interesante. Increíble. debo admitirlo. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn va a estar sí o sí para el próximo año, tanto para consolas y en PC. En este caso está para Epic Games y Steam. Mira tú. Yo creo que van a sacar provecho tanto Epic Games y Steam. Es que normalmente todos los juegos siempre se presentan en Steam. Hay
Hey, PC
poquísimos en
Gaming Show.
algunos en
I'm
este
Derek
caso en
Bradley,
dot.
the CEO of A44 Games and creative director of Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Flintlock is set in a world ruled by old gods, and so as humanity, you now have the power of black powder and bombs and flintlock rifles to finally overthrow the gods and take the world back. You'll play as Nor, a Blackstream sapper, one of the elite explosives experts of the Coalition forces. Nor herself has a personal vendetta against the gods and will stop at nothing to get her revenge. But you won't be going it alone. Where Nor brings firepower, her fox-like companion Enki brings magic to the battlefield. You will have to master a combination of axe combat and gunplay, while your companion Enki uses his magical powers to disrupt enemies. We can't wait to show you more of Flintlock before it's released next year. Head over to our socials for more info, and don't forget to wishlist now on Steam and Epic Game Store. Have a great show.
Coming up next, a mysterious new sci-fi game from 11-Bit Studios, the creators of This War of Mine. Hear all about it in our exclusive interview. We'll also show you what's next for Outriders from Square Enix and People Can Fly.
Outriders.
Plus, if you look
Super
back
people.
on high school and think, you know, those 4 years would have been better if I was fighting literal demons, you're definitely going to want to study up on our next world-exclusive independent game inspired by the Persona series. Choke your health potions now because there is so much more PC gaming show coming your way. Before we go, the folks at Compass Data Centers have a little quiz for you. How much higher is 5G's data capacity compared to current 4G networks? Scan this QR code and answer the question for a chance to win $500 worth of stuff from Razer. Or visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com.
¡Ay, Dios mío!
Okay, now back to the PC Gaming Show.
Ready to game the system? Meet Mana. You slay. You achieve. You win. So should your bank account. Because your power shouldn't stop when the game
Siempre tienen
does.
que mostrar
Mana is the best game
reclam.
rewards debit card where you can earn perks and points by paying
casi como
and
usar
play
la
and get rewarded with the
tarjeta
things you
virtual,
actually want. Like that skin you can't wait
Hasta
to show
tiene
off.
con
Or your
premios, pues
next
con
gear upgrade.
recompensas,
So
pues
why pay
cáchate.
any other way? Pay with Mana. Pay with power. Mana. Game the system.
So I know what you're thinking, and the
Mira,
answer
pues
is
ahí
yes.
muestran la
It's time to
Steam
talk about The
Cáchense.
Alters, the brand new game from 11-Bit Studios. The Warsaw-based studio made us cry
The
in
War
this war of
Mine.
mine, make
¿Quién
difficult
se acuerda de
choices in
este
the face
juego?
of
Este es un
climate
juego de
apocalypse,
supervivencia.
in
Este es
Frostpunk,
Frostpunk.
and battle encroaching corruption and Children
Children
of
of
Morta.
Morta.
The Alters sends us to
Mira.
the deepest, darkest reaches of space, in a survival story that is guaranteed to give you an existential crisis, in a good way. This is a really big moment for this year's show. I can't wait. Let's take a look.
Ya, a continuación, yo creo que este va a ser World Premiere. A ver. World Premiere. Sorpréndame, a ver. ¿Qué se nos viene de estreno? A ver. De los creadores de World of Mine and Frostpunk. Este es otro juego de los mismos creadores, mira. A ver, ¿qué sorprende con este siguiente videojuego? encuentro con otros tipos, mira, puros clones. Esto ya es de tipo espacial, mira tú. The Alters, los alternos. En la lista de deseos próximamente para Steam, Epic Games y God. Va a estar para PC, mira. Todos sus clones.
Joining us now to talk about what we just saw all the way from Poland is Tomasz Kasilewicz of 11-Bit Studios. Welcome to the PC Gaming Show, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack there. We got clones, we got this huge wheel. Tell us, what did we just see?
Well, first of all, these guys were not exactly the clones. We saw Jan, our main character, who's traveling with a group of the Alters, who are the alternative versions of the same person. And they are going through this distant alien planet in their mobile base, which was the wheel you saw at the end.
So what's the player's goal as they're progressing through the story?
So you are a space builder stranded on this distant planet, and your goal is to survive and find a way back home. But the thing is, in order to do so, you need to create those alters, as each one of them have different set of skills and character traits. So these are things necessary for your survival and finding a way back home.
So from the trailer, tonally this could be a horror, a thriller, a mystery. What should players expect?
Actually, there are bits of everything you mentioned. Like, there is this mystery as we're looking deep into the soul of the character, but what you find there can also be pretty scary. So there are those beats of psychological horror and drama, but then on top of it we have this quite thick layer of surreality. I mean, how surreal would it be to one day, you know, wake up next to a little different alternative version of your very self?
Now, there's a quote that you shared with me earlier, that man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor. How does this quote relate to the story?
So this quote, it relates directly to the main theme of our game. We as people, we are shaping ourselves every single day with every single decision that we are making. This process, the whole process of becoming who we are, it can be quite painful at times. But in our game, Jan, the main character, he has this unique possibility of not only shaping himself, but also reshaping himself and numerous times with every single alter that he is creating.
Do you see this as more of a classic sci-fi story, something like a Ray Bradbury work, or is it something more contemporary?
Well, it is very classic sci-fi in a way that we are taking a relatable topic and we are using the sci-fi theme, we are using the sci-fi setting to look at it through the magnifying lenses. But then when we're choosing the tools, this is a very contemporary game and we're taking advantage of what video games are as a medium. So we're using tools like systematic design and non-linearity in order to put the players in the middle of the experience and in the end allow them to create their own stories inside the game.
I wanted to ask a little bit about the relationship of your previous titles to the alters, whether there's any narrative or themes or even just influence that those games had on this one.
Well, the alters is purely 100% our game, 11-Bit Studios game, and it's created in line with our meaningful entertainment philosophy. So it's a game we hope that it will make you think even after you stop playing it. This War of Mine was this first huge milestone. It paved the way for all the future titles. And with Frostpunk, it was taken to another level with the strong focus on the emergent narrative. And now with the Alters, we want to follow that path. But we also really want to push the boundaries even further and expand on how we approach meaningful topics inside the design of our games.
Thanks so much again to Tomasz and the whole team at 11-Bit Studios for joining us this year. And while I try to find enough Rapidium to make it through day 1 to 8, let's head on over to Mika Burton and keep things rolling like a massive space station.
A ver.
Thanks, Day9. Honestly, I need to look into getting myself cloned so I can make time to play all of these awesome games we've seen so far. But I'm also like legitimately worried about having to eventually fight my clone in single hand-to-hand combat when they steal my life, making me wonder if I was the clone all along.
De gama ultra, no.
Yeah, no, it's totally worth video games. Anyway, that's a problem for future Mika. Present Mika is much more interested in what you all have been saying about the show so far. So keep letting us know your thoughts by using hashtag PC Gaming Show on all platforms. Now, let's get back to the real reason all here, cloning.
Me sorprende que hayan bueno así. A ver, ¿qué otro juego se nos viene? A ver. No, pero por lo menos The Alter, yo creo que esto va a ser una buena experiencia en el sentido de jugar, mostrando todos sus alteres. No solamente uno principal, sino cada uno tiene sus propias habilidades. Mira. Así que por lo menos habrá que armarse de paciencia hasta que salga para el próximo año. Abraza para el impacto. Outrider World Slayer va a estar sí para el 30. O sea, ya va a salir sí o sí para finales de este mes. A ver, ¿qué otro siguiente juego nos muestra? Ambientado en la Edad Media. Miren, fíjense. Esto ya es clásico de ambientándose en este tipo de juegos. Bases de alquimia o de medicina a la antigua. Mírenlo. O está fabricando un perfume. Esta poción del amor. Mira, ¿verdad? Aquí podemos fabricar las pociones para el sueño. Mira, Potion Craft va a estar sí o sí para el final de este año.
Sure.
Mira,
when Tiny Build lets you open your own medieval potion shop, you get hailed as a master alchemist. But when I do it, I get a sternly worded letter from my landlord about how my cauldron violates our lease agreement. Whatever, it's his loss. But more importantly, folks, we promise you the maximum amount of games humanly possible, and we aim to deliver quite literally.
Otro siguiente juego, mira, de puros cachorros, enfrentándose a los topos. Control gigante topo. Elimínalo. Ahora también, con mascota y todo. Que se han unido más de 7 millones de jugadores, mira. Prepárate para morir. Con animales y todo, se revolvió prácticamente todo. Animal Royal, temporada 4, va a estar sí o sí para el 28 de junio. Mira, tanto para consolas y PC. Otro juego de tipo Retro Vaporwave. No, ¿qué más se le puede pedir? Esto ya es al estilo PC tipo Retro Vaporwave. Mira, pues. Oh, nostalgia pura, pues. Mira, pues. Al estilo Bruce Lee, pues. Puro combate. Hace la misma referencia de Bruce Lee con ese gesto. Nitro Kit. Juega gratis en Steam. Mira, casi se me salió una. Está trabalengua ya. Mira qué buen nombre. Nitro Kit. Ya, a ver, ¿qué otro siguiente juego nos muestra? Este ya es como un juego de carta, se nota. Sí. habilidades y las cartas. Mira. Majo Kenshi va a estar sí o sí para el próximo año. Mira, no es malo. Vamos con el siguiente juego.
Earth, our beautiful home. To protect it, we must reach out to explore the unknown. Our team of experts is presently probing the deep sea in a struggle against the yoke of overregulation. These security and defense innovations allow you to shrink any problem down to size. We surge forward, obliterating the enemies of progress, but we refuse to let these victories go to our heads. We are the future.
Killing Floor, Tidal Terror, próximamente para consolas y PC, Mira.
And now it's time to give you an exclusive briefing on what's next for one of PC gaming's titans of modding, simulation, and scale, Arma 4. Last month, developer Bohemia Interactive kicked things off by releasing Arma Reforger on Steam in early access. This playable prototype will be a foundation for Arma 4. And with it playable on Steam now, we have a ton of questions about the future of Arma. I mean, after all, this is the series that helped birth the survival genre through DayZ. Oh, and also this other little niche genre you may have heard of called Battle Royale to help us peer into the future for this project. We've got none other than Bohemia Interactive. Thank you so much for joining us. So as of right now, Arma Reforger has been out for about a month. What is it that you've been learning or seeing from players?
At first, we've learned that players like Reforger a lot and they appreciate the work we've put into it. We also realized they like modding a lot and they review this as a key quality of our games. And we are very pleased by the reactions of both our community and the new players who immediately started flooding internet with videos, playthroughs, and praise of our new technology. So we are very glad that the reception is so good.
So there's no doubt players who have been long-time fans of the franchise stepping into Arma Reforger, and I'm curious, what were some of the big challenges of rebuilding that specific Arma feel from the ground up in this brand new engine?
Well, it's a very tricky subject because even internally it's an ongoing kind of fight. So I'm myself very much on the very purist side of things. So no HUD, no save games, no superficial helpers. And this fight can get very intense even in-house. So I'm the real Arma purist and I'm on this for 25 years now, so I will keep fighting. But obviously this is part of the fun. So there's always never-ending battle. I think 2 years ago we really struggled to keep it Arma and even internally preserve our own standards. So do it our own way rather than replicating what's maybe normal in other games, because our goal is not to make the same game as all other games. So our goal is to remain unique.
I'm curious if you can speak to what the main goals of Reforger is. It's a little unusual compared to other releases. I mean, for instance, how much content should a player expect if, say, they've been playing Arma 3 for years?
Our goals were, of course, to restart the series from technological standpoint, really make room for some new achievements, utilize the technology which is state of the art, both in terms of how it looks like, how it's controlled, how it can be modded.
It's important to understand it may look as a kind of normal game on the surface, but there's a big system behind it. So just the tool suite is a massive tool suite, never tested by large public. So it's a premiere of a tool suite, and these tools are being built for nearly 5 years now. So we really need users to start using them to keep improving and continue building it.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have one quick question from the Arma fans. Has Russia's invasion of Ukraine impacted your approach to Arma 4 and Arma Reforger, a game that depicts the Cold War?
Well, yes, because it's extremely close to us. We even live in a way very nearby, so definitely. On the other hand, we started work on this many years ago, so the direction was set before. But we always approach conflicts and armed conflicts with a great level of respect. We're still at the beginning, but we definitely would like to continue in our exploring this serious theme.
Arma, as I see it, has always been a bit more of a anti-war game. It's an entertainment product. That's fair thing to admit. On the other hand, given the topic, given our let's say, maturity and long time we've spent on it, and our ambition to portray it as a all very complex and gritty thing. I would like us to contribute by not just entertaining people, but also educating them.
No es como la otra, si no me recuerdo, creo que era la de Rainbow Six. Pero mira, esto ahora viene con DLC. Nouns of War. Ese creo que fue el último que salió para la versión de Arma 3. Arma 3 todavía hasta el día de hoy se sigue jugando.
This would not be an interview about Arma unless we were asking about modding. I mean, so many amazing games and genres came from Arma mods, so I gotta know what's possible in Reforger that wasn't possible in the past.
Now with this technology, it's possible to create entirely different things, like entirely different games. It has so many variables, but the beauty now is that much more of it is user accessible, unlike the previous games. So people can easily digest how this is constructed in our workbench tools. So unlike previously where it was more hard-coded in the C++ engine, so now they can check the data of every single element of the game and go much deeper than in previous games. So this will be super exciting.
Now, I wanted to ask a little bit about performance, because anyone who's played Arma knows that it can get really challenging to get a good frame rate in those massive multiplayer matches. So I'm curious, what expectations should players have about performance leading into Arma 4?
Arma 3 was built on foundations laid down in times of single core and no GPUs basically, so this time much more computations and intensive rendering things can be done directly on GPU, but it required completely a new approach.
Again, we are in the beginning and we know that there are problems, there are difficulties, but we are solving them one by one. We are really gathering community feedback and even our own definitely feedback, so we are moving things forward. And yeah, it's about optimization. It's not that much about FPS, but also for like network traffic, for instance. When you have this massive multiplayer game, it's a huge challenge. Server performance, of course.
Es que el anterior podía usar un avión, un caza o un helicóptero.
Thank you so much again, Bohemia Interactive, for giving us the inside scoop on both Arma Reforger and Arma 4. Now, you don't go anywhere because here
Reforger y el otro el que salió ahora, Arma 4.
Just around the corner in the PC gaming show, prepare to experience terror ranging from the subaqueous to the subconscious with the latest from Shiro Games. Hold on to your butts because front-end development spared no expense on the new Jurassic World Evolution 2 expansion, and get your crowbars ready for Half-Life Alyx Levitation, a special project from some very talented modders. Oh, modders, what would PC gaming be without you? While we're here, quick geography question. Which parts of the world use
¿Cómo lo
the
están
most
disfrutando
bandwidth
aquí en esta
for gaming?
retransmisión del evento de la PC Gamer, aquí en el canal de Ensei Konichiwa con Ensei
Scan the
Event?
QR code on the screen to enter.
No, pero se ve
Last year,
muy
Shiro
bacán.
Games debuted War Tales at the PC Gaming Show, but the publisher has a lot more than its medieval sandbox RPG on the way. Up next, we'll hear what's up with Shiro's slate of projects, and stick around for the debut of two completely new games, Decarnation and Abyssals.
A ver.
Hey everyone, thank you very much for the invitation, Mika. I'm James, and I can't wait to show you everything that we've got prepared for you today. So it's been a crazy couple of months for everyone here at Shiro Games, with Dune Spice Wars marking the most successful release in the history of the company, and it's entirely thanks to all of you. But today, let's look at Dune Spice Wars multiplayer mode.
Mira, aquí estábamos hablando del juego, el Doom, The War of Spice.
We're introducing new synergy systems between factions that will open a vast number of strategies to help you crush your opponents. Multiplayer will be available in Dune Spice Wars very
Ahora
soon.
también se viene un
After 5
multiplayer
years and nearly
también.
3 million units sold, Northgard's story finally continues. In a new chapter set shortly after the events of the first campaign, Ragnarok has decimated the lands of Northgard. Long-standing alliances have been broken. Violence and betrayal now plague the continent. Forced to depart what they once called home,
Esto es de los vikingos.
our heroes arrive on unknown shores and find themselves confronted by unfamiliar faces in a dangerous new realm. This Northgard expansion arrives this winter.
Northgard viene con la expansión próximamente en
And
invierno
for all
para
of our War
Steam.
Tales players out there, cooperative is
Yo creo
finally
que eso va
coming
a
to our
ser sí
open
o sí
world
para
tactical
finales de
RPG.
año, yo creo.
You share
Todavía
food,
aún
gold,
estamos
and
en
camp
estamos en
with your
invierno. Yo
friends.
creo que allá van a estar primavera,
But we can
verano.
split up to cover more grounds.
primavera, verano, otoño, invierno. Yo creo que va a ser sí o sí para diciembre o enero.
Be careful in your approach, as one wrong move may lead to your group's demise. The co-op update will allow you to play between 2 to 4 players, and it will be available this summer.
War Tales. Próxima otra siguiente actualización en verano.
So a few months ago we announced Shiro Unlimited, a new publishing label created by indies for indies, and we are very proud to announce 2 new titles coming from the Shiro Unlimited family.
Juego indie, a ver.
It seemed like our last chance to start again, to escape Earth's devastation.
We used our limited resources to lay the foundations of a new life, deep below the waves of this strange new planet.
No está tan malo, sí.
But soon, we realized it was not the dream world we had hoped for.
When faced against the darkness of the abyss, we found ourselves helpless.
Lost.
Isolated.
Avisar, coloniza, expande y sobrevive. Va a estar sí o sí para el próximo año para Steam. El abismo. Ay, por favor. A ver, otro siguiente juego. Ya. Está Valley, pero un poquito más enfocado al terror. Mira. No sé, es casi como si fuera un Perfect Blue. Mucho terror. The Carnation va a estar sí o sí para el próximo año en Steam. Mira,
we hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Está muy bueno. Esto ya es de carácter tipo terror psicológico, sí se nota. The Carnation.
You just saw why you were exactly right to be afraid of the ocean in Abyssals. And you confronted your inner demons in the retro dream horror of Decarnation. Next up, how do you rebuild a city in a world set after the collapse of civilization? Let's find out how by taking a look at I Am Future from Tiny Build.
Tiny Build, ¿ya? A ver, ¿cómo es? Reconstruyendo de nuevo después del caos.
Warning, hibernation aborted. Your total hibernation time was 6 years, 6 months, 5 days. Welcome to Eden, your new home.
Huh? I have no idea where the hell I am. But damn, this place is gorgeous.
Pero hay que empezar a construir. Todo lo básico, otra vez. I am future. Yo soy del futuro. Mira. Reventó. Próximamente para este año en Steam. Mira, tal como lo mostraban los otros retransmisiones anteriores.
Our forefathers conquered Calderia.
A ver, ¿cuál es este siguiente juego?
And bestowed it upon us, a new generation.
Este es un juego sí ambientado en la Edad Media. Me recuerda el tema de Crusader Kings.
Our great houses seek to obtain the Emperor's favor, cultivating our lands and subjects to improve and enrich the realm, beginning with ourselves, of course.
Dominance can be secured through strength as well as delicacy.
con intriga y con cualquier juego. Es lo mismo como el estilo de Crusader Kings 2. Mira tú.
Join the great houses of Calderia.
La gran casa de Calderia, próximamente en Steam. Mira.
And now for these next trailers, it's true. They do move in herds. That was so much. The thought process is simple. God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, man destroys God. Man creates video games to play with dinosaurs. But just be warned that one of these trailers might come as a bit of a shock to the system.
A ver, ¿qué se nos viene ahora a continuación? Este ya lo han mostrado. Este es de Jurassic Park. Jurassic World Evolution 2 está en esta es la expansión. Va a estar sí o sí, ya salió, o sea, hace unas semanas atrás, hace unos días atrás.
PC gamer.
A ver.
Humans interfacing with computers for their own entertainment.
Mira, no esperaba de esto. Que haya salido el juego, muy bueno.
Look upon my works, foul creatures, and weep at its magnificence. It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station. Humanity is on the verge of a new era. I, Shodan, am its new god. Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? You are an insect. You are nothing. I create. I iterate. I fuse flesh and steel into perfection.
Como muy perturbador, sí, lo que dijo. Mezclar entre la carne con el acero.
Their blood is on your hands. You will suffer for your transgressions. These are my avenging angels, and they will have retribution.
System Shock, mira tú. Va a estar sí o sí para consolas y PC, tanto en Steam, GOG y Epic Games. Mira.
Horrifying trailer.
Wow.
Developed by Night Dive Studio,
System Shock
is the return of a beloved, acclaimed sci-fi saga. Today, to take us even further inside the world of System Shock, I am thrilled to welcome the one and only Warren Spector. Thanks so much for joining us, Warren.
Hey, thanks for
Uy, hablando de eso, el llamado de la naturaleza. Espérense, chiquillos, disfruten un poquito esta retransmisión.
From 1994, 3 decades later to now, what doesn't carry over well?
The first thing is the graphics, obviously. We did the best we could, but it was pretty primitive back then. And the other one is the user interface. If you look at when the game opened, the original, a help screen that came up, and it filled the entire screen with text. It's just a thing. I don't know how the guys at Night Dive did it. It's amazing. But frankly, as I think back on it, the game actually holds up pretty well. I'm excited to see it come back.
Just wondering if you think many modern gamers are aware of the impact that System Shock has had in terms of gameplay systems, in terms of narrative structure, on so many games that came after it.
I'm not sure people see the influence, which is a little unfortunate. But I think the rest of the world is going to get a chance now to experience it. And I think they'll see not just that they're having fun playing this game, but also see that other games follow in its footsteps.
Nowadays, we walk around with computers in our pockets, worried about the evil of algorithms. How do you think about a character like Shodan in 2022?
Shodan seems far too close to reality to me right now, and let's just hope that she doesn't show up as nasty a form as she did back in 1994.
Well, Warren, I wanted to thank you so much for joining us. And I want to let you know I cannot wait to return back to that world I played and enjoyed so much as a kid. Cheers.
Yeah, I can't wait to return to that world.
System Shock 1 y el 2, antes de poder ver el siguiente juego, así que por lo menos habrá que esperar.
Thank you so much again, Warren Spector, for joining us to talk all things System Shock. I personally can't wait for the game to come out, though. It might completely ruin my sleep schedule, but before I spiral further, here are some more games to cram into your eyeballs.
Since the first pioneers changed the harshest aspects of our world, every generation has upheld the solemn promise of our forefathers, that the rise of Titan would forever be without misery or bloodshed. We seek nothing from the solar system but a lasting amity of reason and justice. To see a war under any pretext would bring ruin to the great wealth of mankind. Any victory achieved through that deepest expression of human unreason would be as devastating as defeat. We have but a singular purpose: to establish peace and security for all mankind.
The war between Mars and Titan devastated our solar system. Lead the survivors to Demarat, where you will continue Falling Frontiers storyline campaign in orbit of an alien star.
Mira tú. A ver, este es el otro juego. A ver. Siempre su buen whisky de doble hielo. Super People ya está en su fase final, así que hay que esperar. Mira.
Or a bonfire, or a sculptor's idol, or a lamp. Make sure you're staying hydrated, replenish your potions, and most importantly, keep letting us know what games you're excited about using hashtag PC Gaming Show. I mean, personally, I can't wait to play The Altars. Ah, good. Now that we're all rested up, feeling good, it's time to enjoy a slice of that lovely cyberpunk life, courtesy of Nivalis, and experience the investigative horror of immortality, the latest from the mind of Sam Barlow.
A ver, ¿qué se nos viene? A ver, ¿otra World Premiere? Veamos. ¡Yeah! ¡Vamos! A ver, ¿qué se viene? Otra Premiere Mundial. A ver, muéstrame, enséñame. ¿Cuál es? Tal como nos habíamos hablado en los otros retransmisiones anteriores, Immortality. Miren, fíjense, un juego al estilo como si fuera de film. Aquí vamos averiguando varias cosas que se van desvelando de a poco. ¿Lo ven? Es como si fuera una película. Miren. ¿Lo ven? Van desvelando. Ahí nos están dando esa pequeña muestra. Mira tú. Nos dejas bien sorprendidos con este juego Immortality. O Inmortalidad. Lo que me sorprende, ¿viste? Van descubriendo los archivos perdidos, las cintas perdidas y descubriendo lo de qué pasó. ¿Lo ven? Aquí hay algo que nos están ocultando. Eso lo vamos a ver en este juego de Immortality. Mira tú. Para el 26 de julio para Xbox y PC. Para Steam y Epic Games. Oh, mira.
Hey boss, time to wake up. We got customers waiting. What do you mean you don't know where to start? Let's clean this place up. Move some chairs and tables around. We can make
no es
this
casi como
place
el del
shine
juego
again.
el Cyberpunk. Esto es más
If the weather
diferente.
gets bad, we can grow some veg in the greenhouse. Once we start making real money, well, then you can rent that fancy new apartment in Midtown. So make friends, make enemies. If customers are rude, just turn on the old charm. Or water down their drinks. I'm not your conscience. This is a world to explore, to make stories. Your stories. You ever look up at the clouds and wonder what's up
Muy
there?
pixeleado,
Well,
sí,
if
la
you dream
estructura
big enough,
en
maybe
algunos.
you'll find out.
Bueno,
Maybe we
bien
all will.
interesante.
Welcome to Nivalis.
Nivalis va a estar sí o sí para PC en Steam y Epic Games.
Hi, I'm Marco. And I'm Roman. At Ironlands, we are big fans of cyberpunk fiction and games, but we have our own ideas of what a cyberpunk world can be. This is a game in which you manage your restaurant, bar, or nightclub, take care of your staff, make deals, farm, and experience the stories of the people you meet.
Or maybe you just want to take the day off and go fishing at the docks instead. Nivalis primarily uses voxel art for the environments. We spend lots of time creating a unique atmosphere with high levels of detail and dynamic elements.
We are excited about the cyberpunk world we're making, and we can't wait to see the choices you'll make and how you'll choose to live your life when you come visit us in Nivalis. You can wishlist Nivalis now on Steam and the Epic Game Store.
Mana is the gaming rewards debit card that puts the power back in the hands of
Es como
players.
dejar un poco de lado
So with
del
every
otro
quest
juego
you
más
complete,
referente,
every
el
purchase you make,
Cyberpunk.
you're earning for the rewards you
Pero por lo menos se
actually
mantiene la mismo
We
el
make it
estilo
easy
género.
for you to set up and
Nota,
start.
ahora tú pudiste
Just
construir
sync
tu
your
propio
free
bar o
coins to
cualquier
your
otra
Mana
cosa.
account and
O hasta un
start earning
restaurante,
Blue
pues se
Light
nota el tiro.
rewards
Pues,
the next time
bien
you play.
interesante.
So why pay any other way? Pay with Mana. Pay with power. Mana. Game the system.
Get ready to overclock your eyeballs, because this next trailer is coming in hotter than my computer with 3 Chrome tabs open.
A ver, otra World Premiere. A ver. Que se nos viene bastante bien sorprendido. Debo admitirlo. Miren, mezclando con lo típico de un juego pixeleado, pero utilizando la estructura de un juego de un 3D. ¿Lo ven? Bien pixeleado. Casi como si fuera un juego de RPG. De tipo misterio, sí, muy bueno. No, mira, cáchate. No, qué buena. Casi de terror. No, recorriendo varios lugares, incluso el abandonado o el cementerio. Demon School. va a estar próximamente para el próximo año 2023, tanto para PC
You just
y
saw Demon
consolas.
School from Welsh developer Isbrid Games, and now
y
it's
sorpresa
time to
también es
take
para
a bit of a
Nintendo.
spooky transition. If you're at home, turn on all the lights in the room, make sure the salt circle is unbroken, and check to see that your door is properly painted with sacrificial lamb's blood, because things are about to get certifiably terrifying. Let's look at the H.R. Giger-inspired biopunk horror, Scorn.
A ver.
Desolate and decayed. A grisly nightmare of macabre perception. Greetings. I'm your host, Doug Bradley, and I invite you to join me as we explore Scorn's mesmerizing labyrinth of odd forms and somber tapestries.
Scorn, me recuerda casi como al Dark Sea.
In the middle
al estilo
of a
de
desolate hellscape, filled with biomechanical contraptions, part flesh, part machine. An industrial civilization now lying in decay and ruin.
Giger. Sí, pues casi como el estilo si fuera la referencia de Alien, pero fíjense, pues muy oscuro. Hasta estaba el juego también, hay muchas referencias, si veis, como muy bien terrorífico, bien perturbador, así, bien mal el juego. Que no es apto para cualquier persona jugar este tipo de juego porque es sumamente perturbador. Si te referís a la referencia es casi como si fuera el estilo de Alien.
Created by Ethek and Lustmord. Scorn has no dialogue, so most of the storytelling comes from the environment, discovering the ever-present symbiotic relationships and how things are connected equips you with the tools to progress. While there is shooting within the game, Scorn is not a shooter. Every encounter must be carefully considered. A wrong choice could be deadly. I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the twisted world of Scorn. The team at Ebb Software can't wait for you to uncover the secrets of this unique world as you experience Scorn firsthand this October.
Así que vamos a tener que esperar este juego para octubre.
Unravel your inner self within Scorn's world of horror.
Scorn para el 21 de octubre de este año va a estar para PC y consola. Mira.
Now, while I've been delightedly playing Dune Spice Wars, harvesting melange, and trying to figure out how to pronounce Quisatz Haderach, it doesn't matter, I'm equally ready to turn hordes of Tyranids into a Jackson Pollock painting in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. In this brutal third-person shooter, you once again step into the oversized power armor of Titus, an elite Primaris Space Marine, in a galaxy immersed in never-ending war. To take us further inside the grimdark, I am joined by Tim Willits and Oliver Hollis, the creative director, on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Now, Tim, I want to start with you. You previously worked at id Software on Doom. How would you say the Space Marine compares to Doom Guy?
That is a good question. I bet many people did not know that the original Doom Guy was actually a Space Marine inspired by an even older Space Marine, which is the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. So, it's really exciting for me to work on Space Marine 2, because it's a great franchise, and I know that it's inspired so many other video games throughout the last 25, 30 years.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much more to sift through. I think this brings us to talk a little bit about the new Space Marine that you're going to get to play, a Primaris Space Marine. Oliver talked to us a little bit about Captain Titus and what makes this class of Space Marine different from the others.
So
the Space Marine is a brainchild of the Emperor, the kind of leader of this of humanity in the grimdark future. He saw the dangers that the universe presented, and he created a super soldier from his own DNA. And each of these different factions, different chapters have different genetic traits of the Emperor. But what makes the Primaris different is that a guy named Belisarius Core, the Emperor's kind of chief scientist, went back, did some digging in the old data.
No sabía de que Superman, el que hacía, bueno, no sabía de que él era ñoño, y hasta incluso nunca quería que armara un PC gamer solito. Es bien llamativo, así que por lo menos tiene toda mi pulgar arriba, así, aprobado.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting that we now get to be in that position to play that kind of character.
And in the trailer, we saw a lot of Tyranids. Are they the main enemy that you're going to be against? And if so, what makes them such a compelling foe?
In this particular game, the Tyranids are the main focus, and what makes them compelling is that they are extragalactic locust-like creatures. They've come in from goodness knows where. They spread like wildfire. They devour everything in their path, and they leave nothing in their wake.
So one of the great things about the Tyranids is they come in the thousands. And our proprietary engine, the Saber Swarm engine, can deliver these epic battles. Now we will have thousands of Tyranids, and you will rip and tear through them all.
I mean, that is so thrilling, because this is the sort of thing that older games couldn't even hope to do. And you're talking a little bit about combat. I know that some of the previous entries were more melee focused. What's the combat like in
Space Marine?
So the combat
del año 2011 y en comparación con la hora, con la versión más actual, se ve que el cambio fue bien llamativo. Es como si fuera un Warcraft, pero mezclado con StarCraft, muy al estilo del espacio. Por eso que se notan algunas referencias, imagínate, hasta aparecen los orcos. Cáchate, orcos peleando, es bien raro, es un ejemplo de orcos peleando con Zerg. La cosa bien tonta, pero de hecho creo que de verdad existió un escenario del clásico de Warcraft 2, yo creo, si no mal recuerdo. Era bien raro eso. Eso está referido, parece que lo mostraron en la, bueno, está en la comunidad de, bueno, de este caso la fanaticada de Warcraft.
Tim and I went to the Warhammer Museum, which was an incredible experience. And you go around all these cabinets where these incredible miniatures that have been painted by these masters are arranged in these dioramas. You find yourself kind of crouching down and looking into the ranks of Space Marines that are facing Tyranids or Orcs or whatever. And something that Tim and I said at that moment was, we need to make this come alive. I don't want to look at this, I want to be inside this. I want to be gunning down Tyranids by the thousands. And so seeing that actually happen and come alive has been thrilling.
Am I going to feel like the characters in the Astartes animation? Because if so, then I'm buying the game immediately.
Even more so, when you're wielding one of those massive weapons and you're faced with 1,000 Tyranids who all want to eat you alive, and you're just letting rip and you can see shell casings bursting out of these massive weapons one after another. The sound, the gameplay, the way it feels is all designed to make you feel like the most powerful warrior in the universe.
Well, perfect. That answers everything. Thank you so much, Tim and Oliver from Saber Interactive, for joining us. I can't wait. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series
Ahora va a estar
X
también
and
para
S.
consola, mira.
Now next, we have a few more surprises for you up the sleeves of our proverbial power armor. First, Replicant D6's homage to the golden days, or should I say, golden eyes of 90s console shooters, and an atmospheric sci-fi adventure on the Red Planet from Frontier Developments and Kyoken Interactive. Let's take a look.
A ver. El mundo del espionaje. Ya. Cállate, pues, como si fuera el estilo del bot de GoldenEye, pues. Ya, pues. Mira, pues. Mayor referencia, pues. No, mira. Casi como si fuera GoldenEye, pues. De la Nintendo 64, pues. Protege tu futuro contra los fantasmas del pasado, ¿ya? No, pero mira, ha sacado referencia al estilo de GoldenEye. Mira tú. Qué buena. Hace tus propias campañas. Ya, mira. No, estoy sorprendido. Mira, ha sacado como al estilo de James Bond. Agente 64, los espías nunca mueren. Próximamente para este año, pues mira, pues. Referencia a Nintendo 64, pues mira tú. Estoy sorprendido.
Sarah.
Es muy bueno.
Ryan.
El super agente 64, mira.
Please come in.
Yo creo que algunos los van a volver bien nostálgicos cuando jugamos al GoldenEye.
Bring the arcs and their revolutionary technology back home.
Ya, dejando un poco de lado un juego bien retro. Vamos a ver cuál es este siguiente juego de science fiction. Ambientado en Marte. Mira.
You'll make the right decisions.
We can do this.
What do you expect to find on Mars?
Deliver us Mars. Mira. Va a estar para el 27 de septiembre de este año. Va a estar para consolas y PC. Mira.
Hi, my name's Elise Chappell, and I play Kathy Johansson in the out-of-this-world sci-fi epic Deliver Us Mars. Join Kathy and the crew of the Zephyr on an unmissable adventure as they journey to the Red Planet to recover technology vital to the survival of Earth and humankind. Deliver Us Mars is set to land on September 27th and is available to pre-order now on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Games Store.
Stay a while and listen. To this list of games still to come. The team behind Half-Life Alyx Levitation will put their mod where their mouth is, and then it's paradox time. Not as in us creating an actual time
miren,
paradox.
A continuación se nos viene
Show
otro
you
más
the
de
latest
Paradox
from
Interactive, Victoria 3.
Plus, you can literally
Muchos que
skate your
estaban esperando. Y
entire
este
butt
siguiente,
off
¿cuál es?
with the creeping horror
Este es
of Gloomwood.
Gloomwood.
All this and more in just a moment. But first, a
No,
final
me
pop quiz
sorprende
for
de
all
que
you Valorant,
Paradox
CS:GO,
está
and
teniendo
League of Legends players.
un buen
How
año
much has
después del
esports
éxito que
revenue
salió con
increased since
Crusader King 3,
2016?
que ahora le
Countless data
agregaron
centers
muchas
wants to
mejoras
hear
a
your
la
guess, and you can
anterior.
scan this QR code on the
Y
screen for
también,
a chance to
ahora
win
por lo
a
menos, ahora la siguiente
$500
sorpresa
Razer
es
gift card.
que salga la
Visit
siguiente
gaming.compassdatacenters.com
secuela de
to enter.
Victoria 2.
All right, and now,
Bueno, lo que se trata de
back to the
Victoria 2
show.
es un juego de tipo de carácter de estrategia, pero también de gestión tanto político y económico y también de carácter militar. O sea, tú partes en las dos fechas, 1820 y 1860 no, 1860 o 1864. Ese es, bueno, por ejemplo, salió una siguiente versión DLC que es el mítico La Casa Dividida o The House of Divided, algo así. Veamos, ¿qué se nos viene otro juego de Stormgate?
2 years ago, our team assembled with a shared vision to build a brand new real-time strategy game.
Together,
we've been fortunate to work on some of the greatest RTS games of all time, and now we have a chance to do it again by creating the next evolution of that legacy. Today, we are so excited to share a first glimpse of Stormgate, an exclusive sneak peek into the universe and game that we've been creating for you.
Parece que hay
Stormgate takes place in an all-new post-apocalyptic setting where science fiction and fantasy collide. Our story begins hundreds of years
parece que se habían ido y decidieron formar su otra compañía.
This great calamity was caused by the Infernal Host, a playable alien race of demonic invaders that are hell-bent on claiming this planet as their own. With our story, we are creating an ever-expanding game universe, told through an ongoing series of campaign missions that you can play solo or cooperatively. New chapters will come out regularly, along with new units, maps, modes, and plenty of other surprises. In addition to campaign missions, we're building a world-class competitive experience with grassroots and professional tournaments accessible from directly within the game. There will be different leagues suitable for all levels of experience. In our new 3-player co-op versus AI mode, you'll level up your heroes, collect rewards, and customize your forces to open up new styles of gameplay and long-term variety. Stormgate will be free to play, but not pay to win, and there will be no NFTs. Beta testing starts next year, and you can sign up now to reserve your place in line at playstormgate.com.
Habrá que esperar. Ay, harta paciencia.
You might happen to know that I'm a huge fan of real-time strategy games. StarCraft is my favorite game. I've played it for 25 years. I still play it, and that's why I am so thrilled today to be talking to Frost Giant Studios. They're a group of amazing developers who have worked on literally my favorite games of all time.
and we're here to talk about their brand new, free-to-play, real-time strategy game set in a post-apocalyptic Earth. It's Stormgate. And here to talk about it is the CEO and production director at Frost Giant, Tim Morton. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I want to know about the world. I want to know about the game. Tell us, what is Stormgate?
All right, this is our first game as a new studio. And it is classic real-time strategy, but designed to be more social. We build the game in a universe that ties everything together, but provide different kinds of experiences for players who like different kinds of gameplay. So we've got cooperative campaign mode, also play open-ended co-op, but if you're somebody who really enjoys competition, we've got 1 versus 1, high skill, competitive. And those are very different ways to play in some ways, but they're also all unified by the universe, by the races, by the units. So you really get a sense for how to enjoy the game.
And I'm curious a little bit about that core gameplay, because obviously in all these modes you're going to be collecting money, building bases, building units, and so on. And I know that for you, the game feeling really good and really smooth to play is super important. Now, obviously, I come from a time where pathfinding is bad. We call that high skill opportunity. But I mean, how do you think about getting the controls, the motions, just the feel of the game to feel good in 2022?
Yeah, it's interesting that RTS is one of the only genres I can think of where you have to have hundreds, even thousands of units synchronized over the network and responsive in a way that high skill, like pro esports players feel good about playing the game. That's not easy. It does require custom technology. There's no engine that you buy off the shelf that does that for you. So we definitely started knowing that and having the benefit of our chief architect, James Anhalt, who did that work previously on StarCraft 2, so we've put a lot of effort into that, for sure.
And this is going to be one of the first major RTSs people are aware of that is on Unreal Engine 5. What is it like working in this next generation engine?
It's pretty incredible how far things have come from a graphics perspective, and I think the art team is unlocked in so many ways by what Unreal provides. So we're very excited. We're still learning everything that Unreal can do for us, but even that first cinematic that we debuted, like, that's done in Unreal. So the high quality graphics that you're seeing are actually coming from Unreal as an engine.
So you've talked a little bit about, for new players, making the game feel a little more approachable, a little bit more streamlined, but obviously StarCraft, real-time strategy, has this astonishingly long history as a competitive games and esports. And I'm curious, how is your team going to approach that?
So a lot of the emphasis around our thinking has been focused on what are things that we can add, especially around the game. No solamente al 2, sino también al clásico, al primero. With esports. I mean, being able to sign up, participate in tournaments directly from the client in a way that gives players, even if you're not like top grandmaster, ready to take on Cyril, there's still an opportunity to be the best on your block or the best at your company or the best at your schools. So we want to facilitate esports all the way from grassroots level up to the pro level directly in the client.
So, of course, in the history of RTS games, a really important component of them has always been mods. I mean, Warcraft 3, there's players that didn't even play the original game. They just did custom mode after custom mode. Does Stormgate have modding? How are you thinking about the modding community?
A number of members of the Frost Giant team actually came out of the modding community. The team as a whole is very passionate about it. From the outset, we started out applying resources to build a custom editor. I think there's a lot of opportunity to make improvements to the editing experience for RTS. We are also working on the infrastructure for people to be able to share their mods with each other. So it's really core to us as a team to enable modding, and we're absolutely working on it.
And of course, we have to end with my favorite question of all. When can we play the game and how do we play it, Tim?
So we are going to start our beta in 2023. We already have the site stood up at playstormgate.com to be able to register for the beta. We have a lot of active discussion topics on our subreddit as well, so there's an opportunity to participate in the dialogue around what we're building.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us again today. We just got a chance to talk about Stormgate, the upcoming free-to-play RTS from Frost Giant Studios. I'm personally super pumped to play it, and be sure to check it out at playstormgate.com. Now, Tim, I'm going to do a transition to the next game. Are you ready?
is going to be good. Watch this. It's going to be so sick. Next, we're going to show you Lesara, Summit Kingdom from Quite OK Games. Now, as someone who has spent a medically inadvisable amount of time playing strategy games of all sorts, this looks incredibly up my alley. And it looks a lot safer than my last attempt to create society in the mountains. 2 words to yodeling accident. Let's check it out.
A ver, ¿qué otro juego? Mira. Un pueblito dentro de las montañas y sobreviviendo hacia la avalancha. Mira tú. Maizaba. Cállate, es justo sobre las montañas, pues, mira. Es casi como un estilo trópico. Viviendo entre montañas. Lazar. Ah, es casi como el estilo del Tíbet. Mira. ¿Lo ven? Más arriba de la montaña. Lo más alto. Interesante. Mira. Al estilo. Vaisara Summit Kingdom va a estar para el próximo año en Steam para PC. A ver, ¿qué otro juego se nos viene? A ver. Aquí para craftear, construir, ya, mira. Aquí podemos elegir el estilo de traje y armadura, enfrentar con varios jefes, mira. No con uno, con varios jugadores, hasta 4. Esto es casi como si fuera Warcraft. World of Warcraft. Mira. Frozen Flame. Cerca de este año. Muy próximamente.
That was Frozen Flame, an open world
Es
survival
casi
RPG
como si
from
fuera
Dreamside
Warcraft por esa
Interactive.
referencia.
You'll embark on a fantasy
No,
adventure
pero
in a
este es
world
más
reshaped
distinto.
by a
Pero
magical
mira,
calamity.
muy bueno.
A cursed land full of environmental hazards and massive monsters doesn't sound like the kind of place you'd want to build a cozy home with your friends, but instead you'll be raising fortresses and trying to tame the world, eventually growing tough enough to tackle the citadel that looms over everything and break the curse. Or you'll end up in the belly of a monster. Still kind of cozy. The demo for Frozen Flame was released just before the show, so you can jump in or grab some co-op buddies and see how long you can survive for right now. And keep an eye out for the early access launch later this year.
A continuación, otra World Premiere. A ver. ¿Qué se nos viene ahora? Mira, estamos ya a poco, ya falta poquito ya para que se termine, pero todavía seguimos.
If you could listen to the noise of history, then you would hear by the sounds of the Victorian age that the world changed
Esto es ambientado
forever.
en la época victoriana.
The roar of the engines, the bangs from new factories,
Una de las
and the
franquicias
cries
que ha
in the
dado
streets,
uno de los más
calling
éxitos
out
que
for
ha dado,
revolution.
aparte de
In
Stellaris,
Victoria 3,
Crusader
we
Kings
simulate this era,
y ahora en este caso
100 years,
Victoria.
starting
Ahora
in
vamos a ver este increíble
1836,
juego.
and put you in charge of a young society.
Mira, pues. Desde México, Austria,
You will
varios
meet the
países.
people back then, high and
sociedad,
low,
ya.
over cultures across the globe. They are the beating heart of your nation and form powerful groups with needs and desires. Listen
Sus
to their
políticas,
calls and
ya.
let it influence reform, or turn a deaf ear to protect what is proven and stable. Your politics will decide where you want to go, but
Su
your
economía
economy,
ya, la misma mecánica
how
que el
far
del anterior,
you've
pero
come.
aquí un poquito más mejorado.
Taxes, production, trade, and construction. Play these cards right, and you can harness the Industrial Revolution to turn your cities into titans. This is the
Lugar
engine
eso.
you will need on the global stage. Use pacts, threats, and bluffs to
Mira, le
secure
agregaron más
your
mejoras para
place in the
comercializar en
sun.
varios lugares del mundo.
Anything done by war can be achieved with diplomacy. But you can decide when push comes to shove.
Tu historia.
Here you write the stories, and over time, the history of your world will be carved into the map. What will
me
your society be like?
sorprende que haya mejorado
What is
este
the sound
increíble
that
juego.
will echo over continents and be heard over the noise of time as you create your grand tomorrow?
Victoria 3. Ya está en su estreno hace unos días atrás, así que por lo menos es un buen videojuego para todos los fanáticos de esta increíble franquicia de Paradox Interactive.
A grand strategy game coming later this year.
No, me sorprende, es un buen juego,
take this moment to let you know you can wish us Victoria 3 by visiting the PC
Así que
Gaming
está
Show
para
event page
PC
on Steam,
y de manera
where you'll be
bien
able to find
exclusiva
every
para
game featured in
Steam.
today's show.
Mira.
Type pcgamer.com/wishlist into your browser to be taken straight to there. And now on with the show.
A ver, ¿qué otro siguiente juego se nos viene? Nueva sangre. Amityville de Black Labyrinth. Mira, o tipo shooter estilo de Quake o Doom. Con mucha sangre y violencia. Mira. Anarchy. Ultra Kill. Segundo acto. Mira. Mira, me sorprende este juego. Fate, Unholy Trinity, Fallen Ace, mira. Dusk, en versión HD, mira. Estos son juegos de puro shooter. Yo me vuelvo re loco con esto. Yo no sé cómo conseguirlos, pero los quiero jugar, sí. Así que viene su New Blood.
What's up, PC gamers? We're back again. Now, what you just saw was everything New Blood's got going on for 2022. A Medieval to Black Labyrinth, Ultra Kill Act 2, Faith, Fallen Aces, and a brand new update for Dusk that's bringing all new HD models and weapons that nobody asked for. So we're doing it anyway. Now, last year you might have noticed we teased a bunch of games here that we weren't ready to talk about just yet. And we're still not ready to talk about those games. But I want to let you know that yes, we're still working on a top-down shooter. Yes, we're still working on a Fallout-style RPG, my dream game. And yes, we're still working on a car combat game. But we're not ready to talk about those games just yet. What I want to talk about is Gloomwood. Now, 2 years ago, y'all straight up forgot to show the Gloomwood trailer.
Gloomwood.
Last year, you bumped me so Gabe Newell could talk about a bunch of demos or some shit. This year, PC Gamer, you promised we would get to show Gloomwood, so I don't want to hear any bullshit. If you're on a Steam Deck ad right now or some shit, I'm gonna...
Y lo cortó. Aquí están mostrando la consola portátil.
You see this puppy? I will drown this puppy. I will. If you don't let us show Gloomwood, I am going to drown. It's adorable. I would never do that. Hi, I love you. So yeah, we good?
Pobrecito.
No. Can we show Gloomwood? Are you
Típico
sure?
de Gabe Newell.
Well, all right. It's about time.
A ver, ¿qué se nos viene? A ver, de parte de New Blood. Si volviera ya a los mismos juegos clásicos, volviendo a la misma época.
Doctor. I had hoped for us to meet at my estate. No matter. I can guarantee your safe arrival. A promise few others here can make. The townsfolk are not
Es como casi volver al estilo del juego Halo.
Don't delay.
No, Half-Life. ¿Me entiendes? Es casi como volver a jugar al Half-Life, al clásico. No, pero se ve genial. Gloomwood. Próximamente para el 16 de agosto. Una pequeña muestra. Ay, qué buena.
There's only one thing I like more than playing New Bloods games, and that's probably the URLs they make for them. It wouldn't be a PC gaming show without the silliest, most ridiculous website names in human history. Which is why I'm delighted to share that next, we have a group of such games that run the gamut from medieval mayhem to an adorable animal fight club. And our first rule, we absolutely plan to talk about it.
A continuación, otra World Premiere. A ver, qué sorpresa nos tiene a continuación. Mira, nos ha mostrado un gran catálogo de juegos. Oh.
Corrupted what?
Se ha
Why is it
corrompido el
always
archivo.
doing this just when I need to showcase the game? Okay, I'm gonna take that. Have you tried turning it off? No,
Me sorprende.
The update to System 10.1.1 will provide a clean sorting of all your files and ensure that situations like this won't ever happen.
Oh, no, nobody's updating me. That's the thing. Nope, haha, thank you, but we'll pass. Okay, so I do have a backup of the trailer. While I go rummage into the bin for it, please welcome my personal assistant. That will do a great job at pitching the game for you.
A ver.
Talk about how cool I am in the story and how funny and witty. You know, just talk about me.
Me sorprende. Muy bueno. A ver, ¿qué es?
Found it! Ah, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer. Okay, who had the amazing idea to save the trailer backup in 14.4 pixels? Do we have any ants working for us?
Back Firewall para este año, tanto para consolas y PC, en este caso en Steam. A ver, ¿qué otro juego nos sorprende a continuación? Estamos disfrutando un buen rato aquí en la retransmisión de la PC Gamer Show. Aquí en el canal de Ensei Konichiwa.
To fight with valor and to learn. Oh, if only it were that easy.
Eso no era necesario que se mostrara, pero es bien raro. Ay, por Dios. Nivel de violencia, pues mira. Norland en la lista de deseos de Steam.
I don't know what you're up to, fuzzball, but back off.
Aquí está la versión 3.0, este tipo de pelea entre animal. Mira. Aquí tienen para niveles, 3 niveles para superar. Ya. Con una actualización y con balance. Ya. Then Fight Hurts. De manera con el siguiente DLC gratis para Steam. A ver. Siguiente juego. Es casi como la versión de Stardew Valley, pero este es un poquito más diferente. Mira. ven, es casi como si fuera un Stardew Valley, pero aquí le agregaron con más habilidades y skills para el juego. Mira, mucho más ítem para poder craftear. Mira. Increíble. Keeper, Sunken. Esta es la siguiente actualización. Sunken Seed va a estar sí o sí. Ya, bueno, ya salió. Así que estás para Steam. Mira tú.
The sandbox survival sim from Fireshine Games and Pugstorm.
Core Keeper,
The Sunken Sea
mira,
biome
muy
update
bueno.
is available on June 15th
Una muy
for
buena
all Core
actualización, así que
Keeper
por lo menos.
players. Now we
Ya
have
salió
even
hace
more
unos
twists
días.
and
Mira.
turns and trailers, so
Lo voy a
press enter
buscar
to
sí
continue.
o sí en Steam.
Did you press it? I'm gonna go ahead and assume you pressed it. No, but seriously, press it.
A ver, ¿qué otro juego nos presentan?
Life can be harsh everywhere. But in the old world, there was no hope of it ever improving. When our crops failed, the ruling class would still collect the same share, leaving our children to starve. And if we had any coin to our name, the taxman would appear, demanding it for the crown. The nobles hid behind the safety of their walls,
ambientando en las varias
did
épocas,
nothing
desde
but
la Edad
raid
Media
and
hasta los
pillage the
tiempos
outskirts of the
no tan
city.
actuales, sí. Bueno.
And so, some of us decided that it was time to leave. That we'd rather take our chances in the wilderness, seeking the promise of a new land, than starve to death in our homeland. The journey wasn't easy. We lost many along the way. But this wild, unsettled land offers us the hope of a new start as the masters of our own destiny.
Qué interesante, mira. Fortress Frontier próximamente está en Steam. A continuación, ¿qué otro juego se nos viene en la siguiente World Premiere? Aquí en la retransmisión de la PC Game Show. A ver, este es de parte de Laker Studios, a ver.
What is below is destined to be understood. Our life depends on the whims of the weather. Our life is tied to this earth.
The water we harvest, the plants we grow, the air we filter. Any waste would be fatal to our survival.
We must learn to live in harmony with this world. For too long we have wandered without purpose. From now on, our city will be a source of hope.
Mira. Muy buenos detalles de animación. Ah, pero se ve increíble, pues mira, fíjate.
To understand our world, we must explore it.
We must find the tablets. The seeds of knowledge that bind all the elements together.
To build our survival.
To build our city. To live happily.
Synergy. Por fin en la lista de Steam. Este va a ser sí o sí para PC, ¿eh? Mira, Synergy.
Welcome to Icarus, Prospector. The planet we almost lost, then found a reason to stay. Take it from me, this place wants you dead. But we've made progress, learned the lay of the land, how to use Icarus to our advantage. Our Our friends at the UDA are offering up a slice, a whole new terrain. If you learn, build, and survive,
incluso para
maybe,
craftear, pues mira, pues hasta construir propiedades.
There's a future here. Think you got what it takes?
Icarus. Mira, este es un pack de mapas, así que está con gratis DLC. Mira.
In the rich tapestry of the PC gaming community, modders are one of the most inspiring subcultures. In fact, some of the most popular genres today started as PC gaming mods. Right now, modders Sean FMP1 Snelling and Corey Latto are making something incredibly special in the form of an ambitious mod for Half-Life Alyx. It's called Levitation. It's an original 4 to 5 hour campaign that builds on Valve's original VR game, Half-Life Alyx. With Alyx searching for a pair of rebels gone rogue, they've discovered a strange floating building in Sector X and decided to investigate it, against orders, obviously, and now it's your turn. Let's go back to the world of Gordon, G-Man, and Alyx with this exclusive gameplay footage.
Alyx, according to this old resistance map, there's a control room somewhere outside the building you're in. Sorry if that's vague, the map was drawn using somebody's blood.
Que va a salir sí o sí para realidad virtual. Mira, se ve increíble, ¿eh? Ya es un Half-Life versión para realidad virtual. Este yo creo que este es el último. Creo que este es el Alyx. No, pero... increíble el juego. No, pero con ese detalle yo creo que ese va a ser la siguiente... parte en jugar, no solamente, no tanto con el ratón y el teclado o con joystick. Ahora en este caso vamos a estar jugando sí o sí con la realidad virtual. Yo creo que esto se ve muy interesante así. Ahora por lo que se fija, vieron un avance, muy bueno eso. Sumamente bueno, mira.
Alyx, I'm detecting an incredibly large energy signature up ahead. It's probably Gordon Freeman, and not anything bad at all. Definitely, probably Gordon Freeman.
¿Lo ven?
Okay, so the plan is to get to that
O sea,
control
nos
room
podemos
and get
casi jugando y moviendo de un lugar acá. Bueno, para la próxima, por favor, no le den la cuestión. Mira, ahí tenía que estar. Ese tipo siempre tiene que aparecer. Dios mío.
getting kind of crowded down here, Russ.
Ahora la pregunta es, ¿dónde está Freeman? ¿Qué pasó con Freeman? Ya, esto por lo menos es una pequeña muestra del juego en versión VR. pero fíjate ese nivel de para jugar ese tipo de juego imposible. Wow.
Oh, nice.
Ah, mira, hasta con estilos de recarga, mira. Por favor. Con el mismo estilo del sonido y los efectos al estilo clásico, mira. Qué bueno. Este es el juego, esta es la siguiente. Yo no sé si será el 3, porque muchos están esperando si va a salir un Half-Life 3, pero este parece que es una especie de spin-off del juego. En este caso es Alex. Ahí por lo menos nos presentaron un buen gameplay de Half-Life.
Three cells left.
Ya, la misma cosa.
Oh boy.
Por lo menos nos están mostrando un gameplay de Half-Life Levitation, así que sí o sí va a estar próximamente para este año.
Well, folks, this is the end. We've learned a lot today about ourselves, about computers, about genetically engineered space marines. And with so many games on the way, there has truly never been a better time to be part of the PC gaming community.
Over the course of the last 2 hours, we saw games from developers all over the world, and we wanted to thank everyone who tuned in to watch the show. All the developers who shared their work with us, and of course, all of the partners who are helping the PC gaming show to life.
Obviamente ya está finalizando el evento de la PC Gaming Show, esta retransmisión, así que por lo menos debo admitirlo. Mostraron prácticamente casi todos los juegos y pequeños avances de lo que se va a estrenar sí o sí para este año y el próximo, y ya algunos ya han salido. Así que por lo menos muy buena presentación, así que ha sido bastante bien increíble haber visto.
This is the official PC Gaming Show 2022 pre-show. It's the live show before the pre-recorded show. Go to the start. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Replenish your potions. Let's do it again. This is the first time. But before
bueno, les debo decir que esta retransmisión de la PC Gaming Show nos ha mostrado algunos juegos que ya han salido, obviamente. También lo que se van a venir sí o sí para agosto, septiembre y octubre, y yo creo que va a salir para el próximo año también, para el 2023. Por lo menos nos ha dejado bastante bien sorprendido con algunas de las desarrolladoras. En este caso ya estábamos esperando que bueno, obviamente ya salió el juego Victoria 3, por lo menos es un gran juego que ha dado Paradox, nos ha dado una oportunidad de ver esta increíble franquicia, así que faltan otros más que se van a venir. Así que por lo menos la presentación no estuvo tan mal. estuvo muy bueno. Bien, siempre con su buen toque de humor y obviamente como siempre nos ha mostrado.
The 5.5
Así
GHz
que
Core
no,
i9 12900KS.
muy buena
with a 32
presentación, han
gigabyte
tirado
of
prácticamente casi toda la carne a la parrilla, los juegos que se van a venir de manera muy exclusiva, tanto para consolas como en PC. Solamente se enfocan más en los juegos de PC que en consolas, pero ha demostrado, muy bueno eso.
There's a LaCroix burp. It's very close to the surface. It's not a heart attack, it's just a burp. All right, I'm going to do the take. It's gonna happen. Maybe.
I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this.
Get ready to overclock your eyeballs because this next trailer is coming in hotter than my computer with more than 3 Chrome tabs open. If your gaming chair came with a seatbelt, then strap in.
Vamos por lo menos a ver para cerrar esta retransmisión de la PC Gaming. Pero por lo menos me gustó la presentación y sobre todo lo que me llama mucho la atención, este PC Gamer. Mira, bien interesante. Increíble que hayan elegido el PC más ultra que he visto yo. Una gigabit, casi 3090.
This read is insane. I was like,
pobrecito.
I don't know why I'm this way. But that's what I decided to do, and I'm sticking to it.
Ya, pero por lo menos fue una increíble presentación de parte de los de PC Gamer, así que debemos admitir que me encantó esta presentación. Muy bueno lo que han hecho. Así que por lo demás, en general, nos ha hecho con algunos juegos que han salido a la carne en la parrilla, por lo menos nos ha dado muy buenas expectativas para algunos que van a salir sí o sí para... Ya algunos juegos ya salieron y otros que van a salir sí o sí para agosto, septiembre y octubre. Yo creo que también va a salir para el 2023. Así que el evento o la retransmisión del evento de la PC Gaming Show estuvo muy bueno, así que le doy un 6.8, un 6.8. Así que excelente, y con esto llegamos el día de hoy con esta retransmisión de la PC Gaming Show, mostrándonos varios gameplays, trailer y desarrolladores y obviamente la entrevista de cada uno que nos ha presentado. Así que por lo menos muchísimas gracias a todos los que estuvieron en esta increíble retransmisión. Así que bueno, obviamente ya se nos viene con otra siguiente. Yo creo que esta es la última, así que por lo menos a disfrutar este especial de lo que nos ha mostrado tanto la Summer Fest Game como otros que hemos disfrutado. Así que no se olviden seguirme a través de las redes sociales y ya nos estaremos viendo en otra Ensei Event con algún otro compañía que nos van a mostrar los siguientes juegos y mucho más. Así que eso pues, chiquillos. Así que descansen. Nos vemos en otra retransmisión. Que lo pasen bien. Sayonara. Cuídense.